Hi everyone, we are Group 4, creatively named Visual Studios. And today we will be presenting our game, Tiny Terrors. So as my group mates set up the game, I'll be going over some of the backstory of our game. So originally at the start of week 2, we had to come up with an entire report, an entire plan of what we were going to do for the rest of the quarter. And being as democratic as possible, we went through 3 rounds of elections to try and determine which game idea was objectively the best. Now, there were numerous ideas, I think ranging from an overcooked, was that the game name? Like cooperative making food type of game, to sort of Toy Story dolls killing each other, and to I think the last one was like 1v3 asymmetrical escape game. We eventually settled with a fusion of the above. So our game, Tiny Terrors, is a asymmetric game inspired from Dead by Daylight, where there's one person that can hunt and tag the others, and three runners or escapers that their goal is to try and survive until the end of round. Now, of course, Dead by Daylight is a horror game, and to make a horror game, you kind of need to have very, very detailed graphics and to sort of expand upon the horroriness of the game, like dark lights and detailed, scary textures, unless you're going for analog horror, that is. But given the 10-week time frame that we have, we think that the best goal was to implement a semi-horror-y, but also at the same time intense tag and chase structured game. So that goes the backstory of Tiny Terrors. So given that we have the idea in place, the rest was just fleshing out all the details. First, the main question to answer is what sorts of map we want to set this in. Now, we went with the idea of going with toys hunting with each other. So if we are playing as miniature toys, it wouldn't make sense to be placed against gigantic trees if you're outdoors. So we said we confined our scope to a person's or a student's bedroom, and since we can make everything within the room, there's less demands for like how complex the scenes be. We can sort of fine-tune all of the specific details of that scene, which makes it really easier to develop down the line, since we only have to maintain one version of a level. We're also highly conscious of the fact that I think the BGM, we forgot to adjust the BGM volume. Okay, yeah, let's adjust that now. So other sound effects might be really loud though. So being conscious of the 10-week time frame, we decided to make our game PvP.
To put back the volume, how we had it, please. Just keep going.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go back to volume. So, by making things PvP, we can focus on providing mechanics that will help the players express their own creativity and how they want to play the game. Whereas with a PvE game, we might have to. The funness of the game depends on how much content you're willing to pull in, and it depends on the creativity of the developers rather than the players. So, with that in place, I'd like to introduce some of the members of our team. Starting off with John, which is our one and only art lead. Everything you see in this game, from 2D UI tech to 3D textures to the scene, was all carefully crafted by him. So please, a round of applause to John. Next, we have Jaiden, which is our one and only graphics guru. So everything you see on the screen this time has to be exported from Blender into our own custom game engine. And here, we're proud to say that we did not use any existing sort of graphics helpers, and we decided to go with a very daunting task of trying to utilize DX12, which I think we did a pretty good job of. So everything you see here is rendered by, I think, one of the few latest rendering, I guess, toolkits, DX12, which is immensely complex. So a big round of applause and thank you to Jaiden for implementing this. Next we have Chase, which is our lead audio engineer. Everything you hear from this gameplay, the sound effects, this BGM, and the entire audio engine was carefully crafted by him. So a round of applause to Chase, please. Sorry. And I know that everyone might be getting tired of doing all these applauses. So lastly, all the remaining people, so that will be, sorry. All of us remaining, that will be Will, Alex, Jerry, and I sort of sprinkled, and Andrew, sorry. We've sprinkled in a lot of the game design, so everything from physics to networking. I was also responsible for the screen UI, so that's a hybrid between sort of game mechanics and graphics, since displaying images is kind of complicated in DX12. We can't just call display image. Anyway, enough talking. Our game is set up, and can I please have 2 volunteers that are willing to try out this game? This gentleman here. And I think this gentleman right here. All right, a round of applause for our demo players. Okay, so as you can see here, we have 5 desktops here. One of them is a server. Jerry here will be the controller of Hunter for our first round. You're the first to connect, right? Okay, perfect. So once everyone will press enter, the game will start, and we will be seeing the world view through Jaiden, who is controlling the observer of this game. Wait, let's go. Everyone press enter. So, as you can see right now, Jaiden is centered on player 1, the Hunter. And at the start of the round, there's a few seconds of cooldown at which the Hunter cannot move, giving times for the runners to escape. So you can see here, the animation is the Hunter trying to attack. As he prevents, you can see here, this player is desperately trying to hide behind the bookshelves to avoid attacks from the Hunter. And that was a dodge animation being created. Oh, it seems like he got roll caught. If you play Elden Ring, you would have known that. You caught the cooldown of the roll here. So, as the Hunter goes for its final, I guess they weren't able to make it in time. On the top right here, you can see this is the timer of our game. Oops. Each round lasts 45 seconds to begin with, and if the Hunter cannot hunt all of the players within a certain amount of time, the Hunter gets on the bottom right, the amount of souls is how many souls the Hunter is able to collect from the runners in a certain particular round. So here on the observer screen, you can see Jaiden can control and see what power-ups are being offered to each player. So, power-ups is our unique take on making this game more interactive with the players. And each round, if you're on the losing side, you get more coins that allows you to purchase more power-ups that are intended to strengthen you. So, once players make their choice, they press enter and their power-up selections are sent to the server. Yep. I think it's good to go for the next round. Okay, so pressing tab as a spectator will allow you to see what power-ups are currently being held by each player. As you can see here, the Hunter has chosen a very unoriginal power-up of just simply extending the round time by 10 seconds. Now, contrary, the other players have chosen more interesting power-ups. Wait, Jaiden, can press tab real quick? Okay, it seems like all 3 runners have chosen the Swifties power-up, which is a very basic stat stick that is meant to increase the running speed of them. This makes it harder for the Hunters to catch them. Yes. Oh, it seems like Jerry here is having difficulties trying to catch this runner. was dodging away. Oh, can you catch him? Oh, it seems like he's gotten it. Well done. Wait, so I think he's hunted too in this current round. Seems like the extra time really helped him. Oh, the last player was previously hiding within the drawer and now is being chased. Oh, what was that dodge for? Oh, okay. As we cycle around here, we can see that the current hunter screen, there's been 4 points. The game ends when any side has accumulated over 10 points. So, if we cycle through the power-ups of the runners, we can see that one of the power-ups is controlling the Warren Bear, which I don't know can be purchased from. It seems like it can be purchased currently. Did you buy it? All right, let's go. So next round, we'll see what it actually does. So when players have made their choices, they feel free to start the next round. Okay. Now the observer is on the player that has selected the Warren Bear power-up. Wait, Jaiden, could you press tab to confirm? Oh yeah, I think both players 2 and 4 have selected it. By running next to the bear, they transform into the bear and are trying to squash the hunters. The hunters now must try to run away or they will be stunned. So currently the hunter is stunned, buying the runners more time to live in this round. Let's see if the 4th player or the 2nd player, any one of them can control the bear again this round. Oh, nice sniff. Okay. We've chosen Jerry as our hunter because I think he's been every single one of us when we playtested this game. And although it might be sort of trivial on here on the screen, once you start to play, you'll know that the aiming system is very difficult. So here we have an unknown player trying their best to survive by hiding. So this is obviously camping, and the hunter's clueless about this. But don't worry. Oh, it seems like he's gotten it. So as you can see, the hunter's points increased to 7 points, which means that they basically won a lot of the rounds so far. Okay. Is there anything interesting? I think none of the power-ups this round is particularly interesting to explain. All right, we can start the next round. And anytime during this playthrough of the players on the stage, feel free to come up with any questions since this time is pretty free. There's a few interesting power-ups that unfortunately none of the players have rolled so far, so we can't really explain them. We hope that they get better luck in rolling them, but in the meantime, if there's any questions that I can help answer, I'd be glad to accept them. Oh, yes. Yes, everything here is modeled in Blender by our artist, John, and rendered in the game by our graphics representative, Jaiden. Yes. Pardon? Oh, yeah. So the question is, what is the origin story of the hunter? Now, the hunter has... okay, so... If the hunter had cash, I would have told them to select Instinct because it's a very cool power-up. But since he's winning too much, I guess there's no coins for them. But the origin story is that it's basically a corrupted toy that gains self-consciousness and now has one of the most deadliest weapons available to a toy, which is a pair of scissors that can snip them in half. Now, we haven't made that animation of brutally snipping a toy in half, since I don't know if we're allowed, but... or it's because they're within 10 weeks time frame, there wasn't enough time. But yes, the goal right now is to collect all the souls from their previous comrades and to fuel themselves. Yes, that's the origin backstory. Any other questions I can answer?
Is there any reason you picked it?
Pardon?
Is there any reason you picked it?
So this was an interesting situation where our graphics representative is very talented, and they are basically a one-man army in this demo. So we give them complete autonomy and ownership of this portion of the game, and they decided to choose DX12 to challenge themselves. Yes. We can swap in Jaiden if you want to answer that question in more detail. If you want to answer that question in more detail, you can come up and, yeah.
Yeah, so Andrew generally captured the gist of the answer, which is essentially hubris. I had used a few graphics APIs before in previous classes, so I was like, well, DX12 is I haven't experimented with the very low-level APIs before. So I've used OpenGL before, we've used WebGPU, which is a newer API, Metal. Those are higher-level APIs, so I wanted to try my hand at something that's lower level, and I was like, oh, it can't be that hard, surely. If I know all of these other APIs, how hard could it be? The answer is quite hard. But I stuck through the challenge, and I think it was a really good learning experience overall. So I don't regret it as a learning experience. If your goal is to make the best game possible in 10 weeks, I think DirectX 12 is a horrible idea. But if your goal is to satisfy your hubris, then, it might be a good idea. Yes.
What were you doing for animation in this game? Is it just moving objects or is it skinned animation?
The animations in this game are in fact skinned, so every player asset essentially has its own blend file with a whole skeleton and keyframed animations. We did not choose to support Blender's extensive keyframing interpolation options, so what we did is we basically recorded the pose at every single frame and then just dumped it into the GPU. All right, looks like we're starting up another round. Oh, and he missed. Oh, Hunter got someone on the carpet and is now hopping out these cardboard boxes to the table where another, oh, and with a dodge, the runner is safe. Temporarily. All right, there's one more runner remaining who appears to be very cozy in their hiding spot. Oh, and the round is over. All right, so looks like the hunter this time got the phantom power up and is too broke to afford it. But had the hunter received enough money, they would be able to fly around as well in order to attack all of the runners. You have enough? Oh yeah, okay, never mind. Then the hunter is going to showcase the phantom power up in the next round. All right. All right, here we see the hunter flying up immediately onto the dresser, which allows them to take out the runner that is on the high up cabinet. Oh, and another one falls. Wait, no, never mind. Oh, okay, never mind. You can only delay your demise by dodging. One more remains under the bed, and things aren't looking good for them. Will they be able to get away from the hunter in time? Yes, they will, and they also have the option for a bear. All right, we're starting up another round. looks like the hunter's trying to go up the bookshelf, which is a difficult parkour move, but if you can pull it off, it's really good for hiding. As we can see, there's just a hider, a runner just chilling in the bookshelf. Oh yeah. Also, if anyone has more questions about the game, you in the back, yes. Okay, Andrew's gonna take this question because he knows it better, and I'll be controlling the spectator camera.
Sorry, so just to repeat the question, were you asking what aspects we were taking into consideration while designing the asymmetric gameplay? Okay, so there's mainly 3 iterations of this game that has gone through. Iteration 1 was super in favor of the runners because the speed between the runners and the hunters are roughly equal, and this has caused numerous issues since the hunter basically trying to catch the runner, and they can only catch one at a time, and the other 2 can run away at any time. So back then the meta with the strat was to let one runner distract the hunter for long enough while the other 2 hit on the other corners. So then we decided to mitigate this by doing 2 changes. One is to reduce the speed of the runners, which actually helps out a lot. I think the difference in this case is that the hunter is approximately 1.2 times faster than the runner. And the second big addition is that we gave the... Can you buy it? Okay, yes. The second thing is to give many unique power-ups to the hunters, such as the Phantom and such as Nocturnal, which we will showcase right now. And I think it's a very impressive graphical feat on our end. Did you buy it? Okay, perfect. So, as we can see here in the next round, Nocturnal, these are ways to give the hunters a unique advantage over the runners. Phantom being that they can move freely in the map without anything interrupting them, and Nocturnal being one of the sort of main quirks that we want to play with this game, which is to experiment with DX12's powerful graphics engine and create a sort of this lighting effect that will sort of hinder all of the runners. Ignore what just happened there. Yeah, so this is sort of the second phase and the phase that we're in now, where the runners and hunters are kind of balanced. There's also a third power-up that we haven't showcased so far yet, which is the ability to see through walls. It's also a sort of graphics-related power-up because what we're basically doing is we're drawing the players at a... Oh dear. We're drawing the players at a sort of in a location that they ignoring the depth stencil basically, so that they're always drawn at the top of the screen. Yeah, so these sort of power-ups are unique to the hunter, which can be identified by their black borders, are ways in which we make the hunters more powerful, given that sort of innately the game is more favored towards the runner side. Hope that answers your question. Any other further questions we can answer? Yes? Perfect question. So there's one unique global game state that is being stored on the server. So the server is authoritative on all manners of the game. So that state variable is basically a large struct containing things like location, is dead, is bear, coins, ticks, like all the state related to the game is being held on the server. And what the client is basically doing is that at each tick of the server, which happens every 1/64th of a second, that state is being transferred over to the client, and all the client has to do is, given this state, it renders what you're seeing on screen. So the location, every position is being transferred from the server, and then it receives any inputs that the user is giving it and processes that input into numerous packets that gets sent to the server, which alters the state. Hope that answers your question. Yes. Any further questions that we can answer? Yes, in the back. Sorry, something about the snipping? Oh, great question. We have a very interesting system because the animation is like a scissor, right? So it's trying to snip a cone in front of it. The way we calculated that is to the following. So originally we had this idea of trying to aim at the player. So as you can see here, whenever the hunter successfully hunts down a runner, it's most likely facing the runner. So the way we did it was, Oh, so the runners have won in this game. Just so I can finish answering this question, what we did was we took the vector from the hunter and the runner. That's vector 1. And vector 2 is the hunter's current aim location. So they're aiming at a certain location in space. And we took the cosine of these two vectors, and if it was within a certain angle degrees, which I believe is to be 45, and it's within a certain radius, then the attack hits. Basically speaking, the attack is calculating a cone in the direction of the hunter that the hunter is facing. There are numerous issues with that approach, though, namely because our game is third person. So if you wanted to aim at someone who is jumping around all the time, it's very difficult to aim vertically whilst having a clear view of the vision you have in front of you. So we scrapped the vertical component of that cone and made it so that it's always sort of horizontal. The cone is horizontal. And secondly, we found it also very difficult to aim when our game has no inbuilt acceleration, or our acceleration is infinite in this case. So by pressing and switching from A and D, you immediately move from one direction to another, which means that if you're skillful, you can literally just circle around the hunter. We found that to be sort of too beneficial towards the runners. So what we did was we added an extra collision, the radius collision. So if the hunter is close enough to a runner, the attack will also register. Hope that answers your question. Any further questions we can help with?
I think we're gonna have to end it here.
Oh.
Let's congratulate Mr. Roy.